the light option. Okay. Clear? Right. So very good morning, all of you. Anyone is joining online also? Let us see. Okay. Now, the few things, because of course, regularly we used to have Saturday. It so happens that today, keeping the sir's health, so we're taken up, and somehow the last Saturday, because of this Group 3 exam, right? We're not enabled. Any of you written Group 3? Hmm? Hmm. So how is the overall paper? Hmm. Is it tough or moderate? Tough. Why? So almost all it looks like the civils pattern they are following, right? Even the Group 3, they are following the civils pattern. And last time, what is this? Group 1 and the exam was held, or the Group 2, Group 3. Now it looks like the paper was set by the UPSC rather than the state PSC. Okay, we don't know if that be the reality. We have to gear up accordingly. I just recollected, few months back, Revant Reddy met the UPSC members, right? We don't know any MOU happened between Telangana and UPSC, or at least they are sharing the question bank. From that question bank, possibility is that they may choosing. But otherwise, it's a moderate for me. You can't say too easy or too tough. Most of the questions we are familiar. And regarding current affairs, polity, economy, even science and technology, what I find is the questions generated from the newspapers only, magazines and newspapers. Okay, once you have the glance at this, it's very crystal clear rather than from the textbooks. Okay, so once upon a time, NCERT, for example, there are occasions when you got the questions directly from the NCERT books. Almost looks like, but now it's not the case, isn't it? So questions they are generating from the news item. So your preparation should be in tune with that. Okay, and innumerable revision should be there. Revision is very, very important. Okay, reading and keeping aside is not. So the revision, innumerable times. Okay, so today you are revising. Within few days again you have to revise that. And in a single day, not one subject. Let you have at least 3-4 subjects revision. Okay, random revision. Once you have, I am sure that you can. And after your personal, right, this sort of reading revision, you need to discuss, so that the moment you start discussing, the advantage is some systematic thinking line you can adopt vis-a-vis with your subject is concerned. You may get the new thoughts also. because you are digging deeper into that. So try in that line, and your preparation should be now virtually for civils mode rather than the groups mode. So group 3, group 4 doesn't matter now. All have, because syllabus is the same, the pattern is going to be the same. Language is also a bit tough, a complex English. Okay. తెలుగులో ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ ఎలా ఉందో నేను చూడలేదు కానీ బట్ ఇంగ్లీష్ వచ్చేపాటికి ఇట్స్ మోర్ ఆఫ్ ఫార్మల్ ఇంగ్లీష్, కాంప్లెక్స్ సెంటెన్సెస్ rather than simple sentences. But overall, subject is the subject. Once you have the command over it, you can do it. So let's have this revision and holistic approach in this part. Now, this week the important aspects that in 4N, okay, from this 11th of November onwards to 22nd, right? We have the climate summit is going on in Baku, the Azerbaijan. Anyhow, we'll discuss after 22nd in detail about the outcome of those things. In between, the quick recollection, as I said, revision, the most of the time is important. It is the 29th session, that means 28 over. So when it was conceived, if that be the case, so 1992 onwards, this conference is going on under the UN auspices. It is UNFCCC, that is United Nations. F stands for framework. Okay. So here it's not mentioned. Is the framework. United Nations Framework Convention on Climatic Change. Okay, that's what the full form of UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climatic Change. CC, Convention on Climatic Change. And this is also, we called it, whenever you use the word Earth Summit, is the same. Whenever you call Rio Summit, it's the same. Okay, Rio Conference, Rio Summit, meaning is the same. Okay, and right now in this United Nations framework, you have 197 parties. Parties here means, of course, the countries and few more things. United Nations, you have only 193, right? UNO, the members of the UNO are only 193. Now here more, that means there are few more countries which are not part of UN. That's one aspect. Second aspect is, apart from the countries, there are few more groupings are also part of it. Okay, so because of that, they are using the word parties rather than the countries. Okay, so as 92 it was conceived. From 94 regularly the meeting is going on and having the secretariat at Bonn, Germany. So the apart from this, when you are having this, okay, when use the word COP, Conference of Parties, okay, COP209, when you use the word, right? Yeah, here, sorry, Conference of the Parties. Okay, 29, that will be that. Then in addition to this information, you have to keep in mind Kyoto Protocol. So whenever finding this was Kyoto Protocol. It is nothing but an international treaty. The purpose of this is to reduce this greenhouse gas emissions. So when you say that to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, what are those greenhouse gases emissions? There are six in this: CO2, CH4, NEO, hydrofluorocarbons, fluorocarbons, and as well as SFX. So from the mains point of view, these things you have to keep in mind. Virtually a continuous revision required. Apart from this, the prelims, which of the following is following not. Now the statements are coming directly, right? They are using the sentences. Keep this in mind. Similarly, when you say COP, Conference of the Parties, this is the supreme body of this convention. And the meeting happens every year. Now, this year, they are planning to have a roadmap mission with 1.5 degrees Celsius. So, before the meeting, the Troika asked all the members to focus on this. So, whenever the Troika implies the three countries: present chair, past chair, and future chair. Okay. So, as last year the meeting was held in United Arab Emirates, it is, and present Azerbaijan, and the next meeting is going to be held in Brazil. So these three, they asked all the member countries, come what may, let us clearly put, when you use the word roadmap, the plan of execution. Vision is good, mission is also important. Mission is nothing but how you are going to implement it. And most of the, or you can say the major problem is what? Finance, isn't it? Then who need to be fund this? So once that get cleared, then the issue arises: how much? Who are the beneficiaries? For example, Western countries stating that now the China, India, they are virtually on par with developed countries. Trailing is, how is that? They are only beneficiaries but not the contributors. Let them too contribute to this fund. So let us wait and see these 2 days what the final terms is going to appear. Okay, so at that time we'll discuss in detail about this. So right now just keep this in mind. Then of course at the same time now the Modi too attending another meet of G20. What is the G20? The group of 20 economies we call. Okay, is the combination of developed and developing countries. All G7 countries which are industrial developed are part of it, and other emerging economies are in that. Apart from 19 countries we have, and European Union and African Union, both are there in this, right? So you have additional European Union as well as African Union. They are the grouping. African Union last year, right? And where the G20 meet was held last year? India only, right? Delhi. So African Union was inducted. But still, right, the financial stability mechanism, it has to enter. Okay. This year it is going to be finalized. So it become a big grouping right now, and it's also right 18th, 19th. So let us see when we meet again on Saturday what is the outcome of this conference. As we said the previously too, the G20, like COP, here also Troika. What is the Troika? Three countries of G20 now. Last year, India. This year, where it's going to be? In Brazil, right? Next year. So once you are aware of this, then you can be done it up. So last year, India, now Brazil. Next year is going to be held in South Africa. These three are the Troika. And it's so coincident that we have the grouping called IBSA. India, Brazil, South Africa, trilateral, right? So we're having this grouping from long time. So it's a coincidence now as part of the G20, they are playing a very crucial role. Whenever BRICS meet was held, BRICS stands for, again, when you use the word, right? Brazil, India, South Africa, right? So these two are missing here. Whenever these five countries meet, again, these three countries used to meet separately. There is no any separate meeting as such right now. Okay, so minus Russia, China, because compared to there's some sort of meeting of minds between these three countries. Okay, Russia, China, a bit high end level right now. So commonalities are there, common issues are there. So they are also regularly meeting. Now they got more opportunity. So how they are going to do this issue? And at one side, you have the conference of parties is going on, the climatic related. At another part, G20. Definitely the coordination of these two things are essential. So how G20 will come up in support of this climatic change conference visions and missions, we have to wait and see on the part. Similarly, another hope is that in future, now that in America there's a lot of changes, again the Trump back, and 2024, okay, saw a lot of changes. So after South Africa, I think the next is the turn for America as well. So definitely the impact of Trump policies will be on that. So everybody is now watching. This year, right? Still Biden the president till this December, right? January 20th only Trump officially will take over. So he will not attend this year's summit, no doubt. But at the same time, impact may be there. So Biden may not have this any sort of the new policy terms and conditions. So let us wait and see how it's going to mold. So now, because of this uncertainty of the US, this three countries' role become very crucial now. So how it's going to be happen? Then this climatic change related, there are few things, the satellites related, the wood manufactured satellite now is on a way. So eco-friendly products. So if you want to put in a way, so we are getting this eco-friendly satellite now, lignosat. So ligno is nothing but a Latin word for wood. Okay. So lignosat is the first wooden satellite already launched on November 5th. Now that the very purpose is to how far we can rely on this timber as a renewable building material for future space traffic. That's a very crucial aspect. And it was developed by the Japan's Kyoto University and home builder, okay, Sumoto Forestry, and launched from this International Space Station, SpaceX. It is just 4 inches on each side, and the weight is 900 grams only. So very, what you call, the mini or minuscule, the satellite it is. So this wood, they got it from this Mongolia tree using this traditional Japanese craft techniques. So let us hope that how best in future it is going to be. And why they are laying their hands on this is that, or everybody now clearly watching, conventional satellites, right, made of aluminum. So they used to burn up in this earth atmosphere at the end of their lives. And naturally they will generate these aluminum oxides, right? Nothing but this will have an effect on this ozone layer. So now we have to minimize this. Similarly, we need to protect from the space radiation, and overall testing this timber's durability. This project now they are going ahead. So keeping in mind, developed by whom? Kyoto University of Japan. That you can make the things. So when these things are happening, another first, right? The SpaceX launches ISRO's communication satellite from in-flight internet. So hitherto we are launching our own. Now the SpaceX, is just the today's news. Our satellite GSAT N2 with a lifespan of 14 years, launched from this Falcon 9 rocket from US, that is Florida, and the early hours today. So it's the first commercial collaboration when you say that one, right? Between this ISRO and SpaceX. So this is also called as the GSAT 20. GSAT N2 or GSAT 20, it means the same. So anyhow, the purpose as a communication satellite, enhancing this broadband services and in-flight connectivity across India. So it is one of the heaviest communication satellite with a lifespan of 14 years. Right now, because in the era of communication, there is every possibility that, right, we may get into different versions of satellites also, and satellite launching vehicles using technology in tune with this, and the speed, right, speed that counts now. No one is ready to wait, whatever it be. So let's see this how far going to be. Okay. Then when the space related, we have this Antariksha Abhyas also. So hitherto, we always talking about the Abhyas or the exercises, military exercises, defense exercises on the ground or on the sea. Now you are able to make it up in the Antariksha Abhyas. So this was done by this Defense Space Agency, conducted maiden, that is the first of its exercise. And the purpose is also very clear, to enhance strategic readiness in space warfare. So once upon a time when Ronald Reagan, the president of America, okay, in latter 80s and initial 90s, they talked about Star Wars, the future war, right, is on the space related like this. So now that's going to be the real, it looks like, and we are ready even if the war is in the space. So let us see this how in future it is going to takes. Then at the same time, right, we have the long range hypersonic missile was to launch. Whenever you have the missiles, always remember the missile man Abdul Kalam initiated initially the 4 missiles: Agni, Prithvi, Akash, Nag. They are the 4 initial developed by DRDO, right? Defense Research and Development Organization. When you say this Agni, it is a surface to surface, a long range intercontinental ballistic missile. Now its range, okay, it is from 1500 kilometers to 6000 kilometers, even further planning to increase. Agni is the crucial hours. When it's got the Prithvi, it is medium range, up to 500 kilometers. Prithvi. So these two are playing right now very crucial role. Then when you say Trishul, the word itself, right? Surface to air. Akash, air to air. We have these 4. Later, we developed a Nag anti-tank missile, destroying the other missiles. So these two, this 4 plus 1, the 5 developed during the era of Abdul Kalam. So launched from the Chandipur of Orissa coast, Wheeler Island, once upon a time it's called. So now that Wheeler Island was named after Abdul Kalam. So Abdul Kalam Maidan on this Orissa coast, it was launched, this new long range hypersonic. Okay, when you use the word hypersonic, what it means? The speed, right? The speed that counts. That's what everything now, how quickly you will get it. So we don't have the patience also in our personal life, right, to wait in any matter. Everything should happen instantly. Okay, so when you have this, these are I think 3 things we have to keep in mind. Hypersonic is a 5 times faster than the speed of the sound. When it's supersonic, because most of the time we heard is 2 to 3 times only. So almost all double of is the hypersonic. And subsonic is 0.8. So generally the 3 words, right, they used. And sound is measured in terms of speed of the sound, Mach. Okay. So one they will take at the base. That's what the speed of sound is measured by it. Okay. So it may be hypersonic. What means is 5 times the speed of the sound. then you can understand how fast it will be, right? If I'm saying now, within fraction of a second, it will reach to the back area itself. But how quickly and fastly it will go. So we have this hypersonic and hypersonic two aspects, glider vehicle or cruise missile. Whenever you use the word cruise missile, you can see almost all from the ground level, it will go very fastly, not much of higher level. Okay, we have the BrahMos, a cruise missile. Its movement will be like this. Whereas when come to this hypersonic glider vehicle, the variation is that, see how it is. See here almost all straight it is going, right? Cruise missile. So once launched, direct. But here it is changing its course also, unpredictable, but finally reach the destiny. So it will go up to the down, drops, depending upon. So very difficult to trace it through the radars. That's the main purpose of it, of these issues. Now, is it the first thing in the country or any other countries are having this technology? What are they? What other countries have this? Only 3 countries have this: US, Russia, and China. So only 3 countries right now. So now India is joined in this coveted club. But there are claims that North Korea also tested, but it is just to verify. Though North Korea is saying so, what it says, what the reality sometimes differ. Similarly, another group in Yemen also claimed it tested that. What is that one militant group in Yemen which have tie up with this Hamas, Hezbollah also? This group is fighting against the government, civilian government in Yemen. Hamas, Hezbollah there. It also start with H. Houthis, right? Okay. So Houthis of Yemen. Okay. There also thing is that apart from this, North Korea is also in this one. Then even the doubts also, Israeli may have it. Iran, right? Now Israel, Iran also in question mark because they are in the process of development as well. Is it manned or unmanned? Guess it and tell me. Such a speed, right? So, is a unmanned scramjet. This is generally they use the word. Okay, unmanned scramjet. They use this word scramjet. Okay. So actually in 2019 itself, the DRDO tested this. Okay. But by the time now, to meet these all parameters. Now it's the time in a way. Even there are issues that when North Korea is thinking about it, then what about South Korea? Somebody doubt it, right? America may provide it with this also to South Korea. But right now, verified and everything is are only these three countries. India joined with this one. Is it was used anyway by Russia or China so far, America? Though Russia officially not announced, but Ukraine 2 3 times, even from beginning, right, 22 onwards, even recently 24 also, it says Russia is using this hypersonic missile against Ukraine. So there's only occasion we can say it, because it's very difficult to find these targets. So these missiles we can meet. Anyhow, major missile is BrahMos. BrahMos is the cruise missile right now we have, and next part is the scramjet. What's the range of it? As it's hard to track compared to traditional missiles because of the speed. So how far it will go? Exactly the basic question. So it can make it up to 1500 kilometers. Okay. In a way, the main version of Agni is this one. Okay. Another thing in the news, the France wish to purchase this Pinaka rocket system. Actually, right? France is very much in news vis-a-vis with India is concerned. We purchase from France what? What jets? War, right? War jets. Oh, what's happened?